Theater has existed since the dawn of humanity, and the foundation of Western drama is rooted in the Greek city of Athens. Since Athens' first theatrical elements in the 6th century BC, vibrant traditions of theater have flourished in cultures across the world. Theater has become a benchmark of civilization and even up until today, a lifelong pursuit of many people.
Theater has the power to transform people. The theater is a magical place where the truest form of who you are and the essence of who we are and our abilities really come to life. Theater really changed who I was. It helped develop me into who I am today.
Since its early history, theater has been more than just art. It has transformed the lives of many people like Keigan Page. Well, Keigan Page is a Canadian actor and director who has played a great role in upholding the theater arts here in Ho Chi Minh City. And in this edition of Expat Living, we're going to meet with Keigan and find out how theater has changed his life and how he's got to change others' lives through theater.
Looking at the cheerful and energized Keigan Page today, perhaps no one could tell that he had a no ordinary childhood due to a disorder many people at that time referred to as a disability.
When I was 10 years old, I was diagnosed with ADHD. It was a long struggle. My parents and we both struggled through it. It was something I was actually very ashamed of for a long time. I felt as if I was less of a person than anyone else because of this disability I had on me. I was often given detention. I was removed from class because I was disturbing others.
When taking up sports and extracurricular activities didn't really help him overcome the struggle, Keigan finally found a place where he could use his energy and be himself, a drama class.
In a theater and in a class where all of a sudden I'm getting praised for being loud, I'm getting praised for making everyone look at me and being the center of attention. It was fantastic. It helped me grow in a sense of respect. I found this transformation in me happened. I think just the magic that happens in a rehearsal, in a show.
Keigan then helped pass that magic on to others. After graduating from college with a degree in theater and English, he taught social skills to young people through drama and performance at a summer camp for children with ADHD in Canada, volunteered in Costa Rica and Nicaragua, and eventually settled in Vietnam.
I got this desire to see the world. I'd never experienced Vietnam, but I had friends here who loved it, and they said the people were amazing, the landscape was beautiful, and just the opportunities here were fantastic. So I took a risk and I got a job in Vietnam, and I fell in love within a day. Vietnamese people are some of the most hospitable, generous, just nicest people I've ever met. They want to help you even when they have less than you. They will give you anything you need to make it so that your life is easier, so that you can get by. The history, the beauty, the beaches, the people really made me want to stay here.
As a theater enthusiast, Keigan found himself involved in the Saigon Players community theater group. Established in 2003, Saigon Players is the longest established English language theater group in Ho Chi Minh City, and it has a mission to promote theatrical arts while giving back to charity. The group entertains the public through live performances of well-known plays, as well as the regional comedy sketches.
We started off very simply doing just, sketch comedies and, short little sketches. We did them in bars. It was really easy. It was very simple, bare bones theater, and done in in different areas of town, raising money for charities.
We have a big variety of shows we do. We don't do the same style of show. So Rocky Horror is more of an adult-based show that we do in October. Then at Christmas we try and do something family-friendly for everyone. And we like to throw in one or two like serious shows.
With his passion and talent, Keigan was asked to join the Second Players Steering Committee.
He had a lot of positive energy. He had a lot of ideas for us. He's a very positive contributor to ideas and for helping us grow.
That's a small group of directors, writers, actors who sort of act as a board of governors. We design the upcoming seasons. A lot of it is discussing, we have upcoming shows, so what do we need to do? So the steering committee is a lot of supporting each show. We put in everything they can to ensure the most success that we can get out of these shows.
Interestingly, we found that Shakespeare's...
For this season, Keigan is in charge of directing one of the group's biggest plays, the complete works of William Shakespeare's Abridged.
It's a comedic look at Shakespeare's work. 3 actors come on, and in an hour and 40 minutes, their job is to perform all 27 of Shakespeare's plays. And if you've ever read Hamlet, you know that's a 5-hour play in itself. So how do they do that? That's where the comedy comes in.
We all play many, many, many roles. Our sort of title roles are our own names. So I play the Shakespearean scholar.
It gives 3 actors a real big challenge in it.
Learning all the lines. It's a big script. Some of us are more successful than others. It's also kind of hard to plan rehearsal times. Half of us live in District 7, half of us live in District 2. So being able to commute across Saigon, spend 2 hours not distracted as well.
Thus precipitating World War II.
I feel as a director, I have the vision. I have to have an idea of what I want, and then I pass it off to everyone else to take care of that vision. I personally trust my actors, and I ask them to come to rehearsals prepared, and I may have a vision, but first I want to see what they're doing. I want to see what they come up with. Some of the best pieces of theater and the best things that happen don't come from me. They're ideas my actors had.
Keigan has a very nice entrepreneurial spirit. So he's the one who says to us, you know, whatever you guys want to do, we're going to figure out a way to do it. He picks out really fun pieces that are a lot of work, and he's not intimidated to tackle big projects. I like his go-get-'em attitude, that we can do a lot of things and we're flexible, but we still have a lot of goals.
The show was a big success, with more than $1,300 being raised for charity. Besides having a chance to do what they love most, charity is also a big motivation for Keigan and other Second Players members.
We want to give it all back to charity. The whole point is to bring in people like-minded, but to give back to the host country. So over the years, I'm very proud to say we've raised funds for a vast amount of charities, some that are very small, just starting out, and some very well known, like Christina Noble, Loretta Foundation, Operation Smile, those kind of things.
The money goes back to charities and helping out charities in Vietnam, but we are definitely professionals in the sense that we will not put on a show that is not 100% and worthy of any money we are asking for.
All the money raised from this William Shakespeare show will be donated to Walking Hope, a non-profit organization founded in 2013 by high school students from the American School in Ho Chi Minh City.
This is the first year they've ever done it. So.
What is this for? Teaching?
We deal a lot with problems involving children around the city, mostly disability, providing physiotherapy, other basic needs to children in orphanages, either with problems such as Agent Orange, hydrocephalus, cerebral palsy, up to even just orphans in general.
With Walking Hope, I just check in with how projects are going, and just so I can let Saigon players know where the money's going to.
Wow, your lighting guy knows how to hit a button.
Saigon Player helped us a lot, actually. The money they're promising us will go a lot into a project that we're doing right now, which is the dorm project. We are building a 3-room dorm for Hmong children and children of indigenous background from the northern Vietnam region. And with that, we'll be able to build them student housing so that they can go to school. I think it's very noble, actually, because usually an art is a very selfish need in yourself, and that usually you do perform it for the pride, the fame. To take that and integrate that into helping other people, I find it's very noble.
Besides his work at Saigon Players, Keigan also works full-time as a drama teacher at the American School in Ho Chi Minh City.
So I always knew I wanted to work with kids, and I always knew I loved theater. And being a high school drama teacher seemed like the best option out there. I get to make theater on a regular basis, I get to inspire youth, and I get to take the talents that they give me and take them to that next level. My hope was the transformation I went through when I was in my high school drama classes could happen with a lot of them too.
Get some more stories.
Today, Keigan has an acting session with a high school class at school.
In this acting class, we're going to be working on characterization. The kids have been working to develop their characters over the past 2 weeks. They've run through simulations, walking, talking, really becoming that. Today, we're going to talk about taking these characters and putting them in a story. And the kids are going to be working on developing their characters and developing their story and coming up with an entertaining story out of this.
What do you mean? These are not what you're doing yet, don't worry. It's going to be one by one. Okay.
You actually get to do things hands-on, and you work with other people. So, and it's not just all about study. It also lets you like laugh and enjoy yourself while you study also. So yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Mr. Keigan is a very charismatic man. He has an aura about him that attracts people. He's definitely not, he can be intimidating at times, but he's a very approachable man as well.
Perhaps the greatest thing is that Keigan has passed his passion for theater to his students, who used to have no interest in the arts.
Acting, I never thought of acting as something I would enjoy until I actually tried it out, and now it has become one of my passions.
So don't be so quick that we can't.
Keigan is using most of his free time after work, organizing and directing a musical for his high school students, giving them a chance to actually perform as real actors in front of real audiences. The musical is called Jump and will be premiered in front of the school's teachers and students.
So we're now entering the school theater. In about 10 or 15 minutes, the students are going to come in and start rehearsing for the show. Over here, we have our band set up.
Oh, you have a band, you have live music.
Yes, and it's actually all done by our students as well.
Wow.
Our pit band is arranged by our music teacher, Mr. Nick Mason. So we're now coming up on our stage here, and this is where all the magic of the musical is going to happen.
This is a huge stage for a school. So how many actors and actresses is going to be in the musical?
On total, there's 24 performers who are in this stage. Wow. So it can get a little crowded up here, but we're able to make it work with what we have. So we'll take you backstage, show you where everything's going on here.
Whoa.
So it can get really crowded back here. We
so
store
like 25 and they squeeze like all in here.
Between here and the other side, we store props back here. Right now we have lights that we're working on fixing back here. We'll go on a journey ourselves so you can feel how small it is, but it gets really tight back here.
Exactly.
And we have a costume room back here too. So we're now entering back out onto our main stage here. So we've come out here. As you can see, we've got our backdrop hung, set, and ready to go.
This is beautiful. Jump. What is Jump?
Jump is a musical about high schoolers set in the 80s. Two schools occur. There's a girls' school and a boys' school, but the girls' school burns down and the two schools must come together. And during this time, the students must realize the struggles that go with now studying with members of the opposite sex, are falling in love with each other, they're dealing with all of those issues.
There will be a lot of dramas.
Lots of dramas on this stage happen in there. So instead of being your typical show where you have 1 or 2 leads, Jump we have 8 lead characters plus another 12 that support those leads, and those 12 characters have big roles as well. So it's a great chance to get many students involved and feel as if they are stars in the show themselves.
Today we're doing a rehearsal and we have them a couple times a week. And basically we're here for a couple hours and then we just run through the show or do dances or songs. Rehearsals can be tiring and stuff, but it's really fun to be able to hang out with all the cast because we're all becoming really close and like a family and stuff.
Right now there's not many difficulties. There's a few dances here and there that we're fixing and tweaking, but the kids have been working real hard on this and I'm very happy with what we've got so far. So I think over the next 2 weeks we're going to perfect those small bits and get ready for performance. Out of the blue, fantastic. Kenny, can you stand still when Mary's singing? I want you frozen, I want you in a statue.
Thầy là người đã mang em đến cái niềm đam mê để gọi cái niềm đam mê kịch trong em lại. Vì đầu năm em tưởng em không có khả năng diễn kịch này nọ, nhưng mà lúc mà bắt đầu học trong lớp thầy, xong rồi thầy kêu em nên cast vào thử cái vở kịch này thì em cảm thấy là em cũng có chút xíu gì đó về khả năng diễn kịch.
As a director, he's a very good director, I'd say. He lets everyone know what he wants. He also gives the actors room to think of things to make the scene better. He points you toward a certain direction, and then it's up to you to try and improve it yourself. And he'll tell you what is good and what is bad. And I think that's a very good way of directing because it allows suggestions which might help improve the scene.
They are one of the most talented groups of students I've worked with. I've made theater in the Middle East and Canada. I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and just to find a group of students with this much talent in the same place is absolutely terrific.
And now it's showtime. Jump's young actors and actresses have attracted a large audience and put on a great show throughout 2 hours on stage.
I'd like to give a big round of applause to the director, Mr. Keigan.
I absolutely love it. I couldn't be more proud of them, and just seeing so many students who never had the chance to really meet each other become friends, and watching these friendships grow, and just watching the talent that our students have here is absolutely terrific, and I love every minute of it. I've had parents come to me worried saying, my child wants to study theater, is that a good idea? And again, yes it is. With theater, you can be a lawyer, you can run a business. It teaches you teamwork, confidence, everything that you need to be successful in this world. For me, that's where that passion for theater is it's so much more than what happens on a stage. It's the one thing that I truly feel can make anyone better and can advance you in any career path.
So you've just met with Keigan Page, a talented Canadian director who has a great passion for theater arts. Now it's time for our Timeout segment, and let's see what our reporter has to offer this time.
Board games are those played on a flat surface, usually a board, using objects such as cards, dice or character pieces. Simple objects like stones were the origin of today's board games. In Vietnam, Pachisi or Chinese chess have been played for decades, well before people have even heard of the term board game. Courtesy of globalization, a board gamer community of thousands is playing in coffee shops of major cities like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. So as you could see, if you want to live your fantasies as well as having fun with your friends and your family, whenever you have a free time or on the weekend, well, then let's come to one of the board game stations here in the country, in Vietnam. And here we are in Ho Chi Minh City at one of those places. So let's find out what's great about this game. Hey Owen, how you doing, man?
Michael, cheers. Good to see you.
Cool. So, you're the board game expert here. Can you introduce me to a few of the popular board games?
Sure, of course. We've got a pretty wide variety here.
At board game stations, over 80 games are divided into economic, adventure, war and fantasy genres. For as little as $3, you can enjoy as many board games as long as you want per entry here.
I've already set up Risk. It's one of our classic games. Risk is a game of global domination. Right. And we're going to see who can take over the globe. This guy is worth 10 armies, or 10 soldiers. This horse is worth 5, and this little guy here, he's worth 1. So you can attack any land that is connected, either by a border or one of these lines. When we do that, we will roll some dice. The attacker can roll 3, the defender rolls 2 if he has two defenders.
Sweet.
We keep doing that. It's a war of attrition until one person has taken over the earth. You're saying Monopoly is one of the classics. It's been causing rifts in families for generations, usually around holiday times. We both will choose one of our players. So it's a very simple game. We roll the dice, we move around when you land on a space. If it's one of these with the price value, you can decide whether or not you want to buy it. Once you have 4 villages, then you can build a keep. And so the keeps will generate more cash than a village. If you land on one that someone else has already bought, you must pay them the rent.
Let's get started.
Okay.
As the players go on to establish their giant enterprises, whoever gets the other to go bankrupt first wins. Star Wars is one among many fantasy themes for board games. Here you can immerse into some of the most epic battles and moments of Hollywood blockbuster Star Wars.
Basically, it's just nostalgia. I've been watching Star Wars since I was a kid, so being able to play a Star Wars games where you get to be Boba Fett, it's pretty cool.
Another famous fantasy featured in a board game is Game of Thrones. This is the fans' ultimate opportunity to roleplay as knights and lords of House Baratheon, Stark, Greyjoy and Lannister to claim the Iron Throne. So you've seen how exciting it is here, as well as how much these guys love board games. So if you want to live the same experience I had today, why don't you come over here to one of the board game stations in Vietnam and experience it all for yourself. That's it for this edition of Timeout. Goodbye for now, and until next time.
And that's all we have time for in this edition of Expat Living. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Well, please write to at expatliving@vtv.vn if you have any comments or suggestions. And you could also watch repeats of our shows at vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go. Well, this is Lenning, and I see you next time.